colleagues, are you being serious? What do you want to strengthen? How much money more do you want to send to Ukraine? We've already sent them 50 billion euros from the current budget. Another 100 billion is planned from the forthcoming budget. Then we had dozens of billions from extraordinary aid and hundreds of millions through military assistance. How much more money? How much faster do you want to go? How much more do you want to increase this amount? You're always talking about Ukraine. We hardly ever talk about anything else other than sending money to Ukraine. Here we have a member state, Hungary, a country that is contributing to our budget. You're blocking their money, but Ukraine, which is not a member state, you're giving them hundreds of billions of euros. So people who need help with their housing costs, or young people who want to have some future in Europe, they don't get money from you, but you keep on sending the money to Zelensky. This is not the Ukrainian Union, it's the European Union, okay? We should focus on European issues, European problems. Ukraine is not yet a member state of the EU, and it will not be for a long time. So we need to focus more on EU issues, on the problems of our citizens, and not everybody else's problems. So, dear commissioners, please, enough of this. Please start focusing on European issues, not global issues. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Ukraine, according to the international agreement, should be a neutral country that wasn't respected. After Maidan, so the new government refused neutrality, and NATO wanted to accept Ukraine and started to build defense facilities in Ukraine. The Minsk agreements were not respected. Ukraine is totally broken and depends on international aid. Only 1 million of soldiers were killed, millions of people had to flee. So this debate shows that there is no diplomatic solution that is envisaged, but continuation of the war, and even frozen assets and the use of them could damage our credibility. So I want us to be realistic.
The planned seizure of Russian assets is not an expression of the rule of law. It is a hollowing out of it. The state law is a basic pillar of European law. Do you want to jeopardize that? Reparation credit sounds harmless, but what we are seeing here is a legally tarnished expropriation. If we were to seize the reserves from a central bank of another country, what would people say? The warning's not just coming us, it's coming from the ECB and others. Everybody is referring to a risk of stability and loss of capital. Colleagues, the EU countries obviously don't have enough resources to combat Russia's attack. And the latest idea is really unacceptable. Laws create new realities. So please get real at last.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, today's debate shows nothing less than fraud against European taxpayers. Under the cover of using Russian assets, we're now seeing that 140 billion are going to be used and sent to Ukraine. But you can't guarantee a loan against assets that aren't yours. Even experts have recognized that the ownership of the assets won't change. So this doesn't guarantee anything. Those who are paying the real guarantees are European taxpayers, and the citizens are the only guarantors of this loan. Ukraine will get reparations from Russia, but we're not mobilizing Russian assets here. What we're doing is taking on a shared European debt, which is not allowed. It's just masking what we're really doing. And we're doing this on behalf of a foreign country, not European.
1 minute, please.
With the interest-free loan for Ukraine on the basis of Russian assets to the tune of 140 million euros, the EU is planning a break in constitutional law with unforeseeable consequences for its own economy. 3 comments on this. What the EU is planning is robbery. It's going to adversely affect the EU financial centres for a long time. For who is going to invest in robbers? The financial risk for the war credit is something which is going to be borne by the European taxpayer. This means for Germany 35 billion euros for the new shadow economy. And this is something we can expect, the actual expropriation of Russian assets is going to be countered by the siege of European assets. Instead of playing around here and working out how you can generate money for the war, the EU at long last should use its brain and make a contribution, a constructive contribution to solving the situation and finding peace in Ukraine. It's time to expect, this is something we can't expect from von der Leyen and Mrs. Callas, and it's high time that they leave. Madam Chairman, colleagues, what we're seeing that the Commission doing is a political game. We've got to really look at the rights within democracy. We're always talking about the rule of law, and it seems as though the law is being broken here. Europe has been a land of financial services for decades, for centuries, and the Commission is sending out a really bad signal here. The EU is going to be a financial beggar if it doesn't watch out in this. You talk about the rule of law, yes, and we're talking about individual states here. We've got the Polish courts here and legitimizing something like this, and the Commission is not even mentioning this. We're talking about peace, but we should also be talking about the rule of law. This is something which is going to affect us for years. And we think you should be thinking this through a little bit more clearly, Commissioner.
To others, you wouldn't like done to yourself. The very fact that you're discussing here prospects and possibilities of bold, blazing theft is an outrage. Don't behave like Bolsheviks. I know you are, as far as your attitude towards property is concerned. You present your Bolshevik attitude very often, but don't be fools also, because it's foolish. It's not only wrong, morally wrong, legally wrong, but it's politically stupid. Thank you very much.